Brodeur yesterday or the other day spoke with Pierre LeBrun of The Athletic, and he had some complaints about the goalie situation around the National Hockey League. Mm-hmm. And he said to Pierre LeBrun in The Athletic, "I think we baby our goalies," the New Jersey Devils executive vice president of hockey operations told The Athletic. "I see it. I'm part of it. It's like my goalie coach will say he's played 5 games the past 8 days. I'm like, so? Question mark.
If I could fart harder, I'd throw up my back.
The sport has changed, but the position has changed a lot just because of the workload that these guys are having. It's so volatile, that position. One year, you can be on the top of the goalie. You can be the top goalie. The second year, it's like you don't even belong in the league. It's weird how really volatile the position has become. It's the system of 1A and 1B that's going to create that, because it's always going to be, we can't play back-to-back games. You're so scared the number one gets hurt, and so you baby that guy for the longest time. So these guys are playing 55 games. They should be playing 65 to 70 games like we did.
Thanks, Doc. Like you, it's very interesting. I think because Martin Brodeur was exemplary, was world-class, was all-time at stopping pucks, he now thinks he's all-time at sports science. That's not how it works today.
I also would...
That's not how it works. How come no one's been able to do it? Like, either... everyone is an entitled, wimpy baby these days, or that's simply not how it works. And I think thinking that that's, everyone's just a wimpy baby is a lazy, dumb way of looking at the world.
Can I suggest that, and he's seen this, the game has changed enormously. When he was playing with the neutral zone trap gods, who he really only to stop 20 shots a game most of the time, right? Like it was the dead puck era, and the Devils were amazing.
Because your teammates had license to murder whoever they want.
Well, but also, Steve, they weaponized the 2-line pass rule with the blue or the red line. And so they were able to shut you down in the neutral zone. So if you have a really quiet game and you're not I think there was some conversation with some other goalie about like, how are these guys keep pulling their hamstrings and stuff? It's like, because the game's way faster than it used to be. Way faster.
Kevin Weeks told me a story years ago. I won't talk about the goalie that he was talking about, but Kevin Weeks was a kid, young kid growing up. I don't even know if he was playing junior, so he definitely wasn't drafted or in the NHL or anything. He was getting ready to go on the ice, or I think he was just finishing up a workout, and then an NHL goalie was coming on the ice after.
Okay.
And Weeks had this whole routine, and he was getting ready, and he was stretching this, and he was stretching that, and he goes to the NHL goalie. He goes, how come you don't like stretch? And the goalie said, you can't stretch fat, or you can't pull fat. Is what he said.
Fat,
He's like, I'm not going to get hurt. I don't have any muscles to injure, which is not how it works.
No.
At all. And that's a goalie who played in an era where you could play a bajillion games, and it doesn't work that way anymore. It just does not work that way anymore. And you're silly to think it can. Like I'm sorry, but it's disheartening when Brodeur has the career he has. He's then given a position of authority, and he says something that's just so easily provably ignorant. You know what I mean? Kids these days. Well, there it is. Go sign a 50-year-old then, Martin. Go sign someone in their 50s. Go get a time machine or go fuck yourself. Like what? I'm so sick of this it's such a lazy way of thinking. Kids these days. Now you're just every old man ever. Ugh. That's so disappointing. Shut up.
I don't know if I could say it any better.
I wasn't expecting dead silence. After
Is it surprising? No, I was just waiting for you to finish, because I was going to ask, is it surprising considering how we've seen Martin Brodeur's career play out? I feel like this should be expected by the kind of guy that he's displayed as. Like him being like, I don't know if there's a better word for it, but sort of hard-headed during his tenure as an NHL goalie. I feel like that mentality Bournes takes like this, you know?
Yeah, well, it's ignorant then. Like
take the Binnington Brodeur incident.
yeah, well, because Binnington out hard-headed Martin Brodeur.
Yeah.
And he rode that to a Stanley Cup. Like, I don't know. Like, you hire someone who has the experiences that the reason you hire a person like Martin Brodeur is his abundance of experience. And he gives you nothing.
I wouldn't say that.
He gives you no. Jesse,
what about like the skills he can teach the goalie?
Jesse, he won cups, he won Vezinas, he's in the Hall of Fame, he's arguably the greatest goalie of all time. And then you ask him about modern goalies, and he gives you the same answer you could find in any fucking coffee shop in North America. Are you serious? You ask any random. If you walk up to a stranger, what do you think about goalies these days? And they'll give you some dumb fuck answer like
you go to a coffee time. You see somebody,
can I be honest?
Coffee there by himself. You ask him about hockey.
This is for the same reason why I've never believed that only athletes can be on sports panels. Great that you played in the league, and and some of like you look at the success of like a Paul Bissonnette, right? He's been extremely good at it, but I have seen 40 guys from the league for every Paul Bissonnette. And it's because and I see it a lot actually when I see some of these guys start their podcasts and stuff, and I won't name this specific show I'm talking about, but they start these shows and they don't know why no one likes them anymore. I'm a pro athlete. You used to like me. Why don't you like me anymore? And the reason you don't like you is because you don't know how to relate to fans. You're not a pro athlete anymore on my favorite team, and now your job is to relate to the people that are watching. Well, and you can't do it because you never were. And that part for me, it's like, okay, so you're giving me the theory about having athletes on panels, and I believe that there should be some, but it doesn't need to just be athletes. The theory about it is they're going to offer insights that the average person can't. And I have in rare situations seen it where it is so unbelievably different. Like, honestly, I mean that. And say this as a person who produces content and watches content and is obsessed with how segments go on television. And I'm obsessed with how they shoot it and how they light it and everything. We all are. I look at that and I'm like, this is literally bad content from guy who played 5 seasons in the show and is getting a spot because some executive was like, oh man, there's an NHL player talking to me. Like, it's just it's just crazy, man. Like,
I wish I knew who you were talking.
Oh, I think you know exactly who I'm talking about. I think it's just to me, it's one of those things where, just like in management, there are some amazing examples of brilliant hockey players who turned into brilliant coaches and brilliant general managers. And then there's guys who were just people that learned it.
Well,
and who tried, because that's just, Marty Brodeur's opinion there speaks to a guy to me who's like, I'm set in my ways and you can't teach me otherwise.
I can't believe that you what a resource.
Can you see
what a resource? It's like, dude, you're asking the greatest goalie of all time a goalie question. It's like asking God the meaning of life, and he gives you that.
Well, and,
like no one.
Can you see Joe Sakic saying something like that?
I hope not.
Can you see Steve Yzerman saying something like that?
God, I hope
Can
not.
you see, like, I couldn't see Shanny. Now, I know they're not goalies, but the point I'm trying to make here is those guys learned and moved with the times. What you're talking about with Marty is somebody who is out of touch.
Well, like, it's just a disappointing nothing answer. And one thing
that's basically self-aggrandizing. I was so much better than these guys.
Fart. Like we're talking. This is an all-time great. But one thing former NHLers, including former greats, do a miserable job of is selling today's game. They don't sell today's game. Call it what it is. This is the best hockey has ever been. Ever. All of the goalies playing today are better than you. All of them. You put them in a time machine, put them back, put you in a time machine, put you forward. They're all better than you. They eat your food. All the players are playing with better equipment. They're fucking faster. They shoot harder. They shoot better. They're all better. It's never been better. The skill set is better, and you'll just never hear that. You just hear about how they're babies. I don't like dealing with their agents. They don't play enough games. They get sick all the time. They don't play through injuries like I do. They don't play through injuries like you do. You ever take a look at how your friends walk? They look like emperor penguins. I don't know. I cannot stand. I know for a fact, like I've talked to people, there are people at NHL head office who hate us. There are people at NHL head office who love us and literally listen to every episode. There are people within the Leafs who hate our guts. There are people within the Leafs who love us and listen to every episode. And I like to think we're fair about the stuff the stuff within the game that we criticize. But one of the things that I wish people would realize more is I'm the biggest champion of hockey fucking rules. The league is genuinely stupid about a lot of things, but hockey as a sport has never in the history of ever been better than it is right now. And I cannot stand when legends like Marty Brodeur are just like, guys don't play enough games. Shut up.
I like that.